What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at more Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series figures of the Tiger Force and Python Patrol, so the Target exclusive figures. So today we're going to be looking at the Tiger Force Flint. So of course we've had all these figures before, just in this various form we're going to be doing. So Tiger Force Flint, which looks kind of cool. I think he looks just fine. I don't really care too much for this design, but I think he's just fine. And then from Python Patrol, we do have the Cobra officer. So again, we've had officers before. Just in the Python Patrol design, you can see it with like the yellow and red colors on it, as well as the Python Patrol Copperhead. So I like the last Copperhead, so hopefully we'll see if this one looks pretty cool with its design or not. Probably not, because again, I'm not a big fan of the Python Patrol designs too much. I think they're a little bit too cheesy, but we're just adding them with the rest of them. And then behind those, we do also have the Trubble bubble. So we have the Python Patrol Trubble bubble with the Tele-Viper. So it's, I guess, going to be cool as well. It's just the Trubble bubble, but instead of being mostly all white like it was last time, it's going to have the red and yellow design. So hopefully that'll look pretty cool as well. And you can see what the figure of the Tele-Viper and the Trubble bubble is going to look like on the back there. So we have all this stuff to look at. Of course, 3 Python Patrol related things, and then the Tiger Force Flint thrown in here as well. So let me go and get these out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with the Tiger Force Flint, whose real name is Dashiell Fairborn, and he's the Chief Warrant Officer of the G.I. Joe team. So of course he's in the Tiger Force design, which the Tiger Force normally has like the green, yellow, and orange designs, and then tiger stripes as well. So we get tiger stripes on his orangish, like a real dark burnt orange sort of shirt here. So we have the tiger stripes on his arms, and then he also has the stripes there on his face. So he has the paint across the forehead, down on the chin, and then right across his eyes there as well. And then he's got the modified colors. So still has the same sort of vest, relatively going to be the exact same figure, just modified in colors. So he's got more of this like normal or lighter sort of green pants on. He's got this yellowish green like color of vest with all the shotgun shells going around. Of course, like whatever the new thing they've added for the G.I. Joes, with an attached holster there on the back for one of his guns. He's got a thigh holster and a thigh padding with a sheath on there, knee pads, shin guards all the way down to the boots. And I love how he's got like this green color around the bottom of the boots there as well. So just a pretty cool design wise. Obviously it's a Tiger Force, so none of these are ever too exciting. We just get them because we started buying them, so just kind of continued out and build out a team and all the similar colors and everything. So that's why we went with this one. Now moon wise, we get the head that'll twist all the way around, and we have some issues with the hinge joint. I don't know why, and I like heated it up and got it loose, but it's like stiffened back up again. But we don't get a whole lot of range, or at least as much range as we should in there, because it keeps sticking. So not sure what's going on with that hinge. The shoulders come up to 90 with the butterfly joint and rotate all the way around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up that far, with the wrist that'll twist around, and this one has the hinge back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch. Of course, he's all covered up by the vest, so don't really get too much, probably just mostly crunching there at the waist and where we twist around as well. Then the hips will come up close to 90 and out to the side. We get the thigh twist around, a double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, pretty much kicking himself in the butt. A shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So overall, it's pretty good movements, like I said, except for that hinge in his neck that's stuck for some reason. Now, accessory-wise, we're going to get all the exact same accessories the normal version of Flint came with. So first, we get his beret that has the Tiger Force logo. So I like how it's more of that burnt orange color that matches the shirt with the greenish yellow sort of color for the Tiger Force. So we can put this beret on his head. So there, he's got the beret. And for weapons, first we do get a pistol. So the little black pistol we've seen before. So we'll just put this into his right thigh holster so that can store in there. And then we also get a machete, so this big bladed machete, which looks pretty cool design wise. Now this can go into the sheath here on his left leg, and it just sort of stores right in there like that. And then for his weapons, first we get his shotgun, which looks pretty cool, this nice all black shotgun design, but with the green there for the pump, which looks pretty cool. And then we have 4 shotgun shells, so he has that. And then the gun does also sort of fold down where you be able to load in the shells and everything, so that is pretty cool. And with that, we can stick that into the holster here on his back. So you just slide that up inside there like that, so that I'll store it on there. And finally, he comes with this rifle, which of course has all the taped up design. Reminds me of like Wakanda or whatever, but looks pretty cool and has the magazine that does come out of it as well. So that's cool. So let's try putting this in his hand. And so there's that rifle in his hand. Since he is left-handed, has the hinge up and down, and then with his gun being on this side as well, he can easily pull it out there for the left. So we put it in his left hand, which looks pretty cool overall for Flint. So obviously with the Tiger Force design, it's it's not all that exciting. I'd probably just stick with the normal design of Flint, but like I said, it just goes in with the rest of our Tiger Force team. And of course we do have that normal Flint here, so you can see comparison wise, and it's going to be, like I said, the exact same body. They just repainted it to match more with the Tiger Force, but I think I do like this original Flint design much more. It's to me a much better design compared to the Tiger Force version. And next up, we have the Cobra Officer, which are the frontline leaders of Cobra's attack units. Again, this time he's in the Python Patrol design, so where they have more of the red, yellow, and gray design, and then also have like the X design or whatever. So he just has a tiny bit up there on his shoulder. Everything else, oh, I guess, and then on his knee pads, but everything else, doesn't look too crazy on him. So this is kind of weird for the officer, how he looks, I want to say, like relatively normal compared to all the other characters, but I still think looks cool. And of course, it's an officer. We've had him multiple times before, so nothing too exciting about it. Just obviously with the Python Patrol, they switched up the colors, so I like the red mask, red Cobra on the chest, this sort of greenish color again with the neon sort of yellow cross designs going up there on the shoulder. Has the logo on his left side here with the Python Patrol design onto it, so like the officer patch now has that. A little bit of yellow there around on his belt, and then like so the knee pads, and he's got the gray boots and gloves there as well. So like I said, not a whole lot of changes to this figure. But moon-wise, we get that'll twist all the way around. Can look down that far and up that far, so pretty decent movements for him. Shoulders up 90 with the butterfly and rotate around. Get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up that much. Wrist twist around and hinge back and forth. And again, it's stiff for this hand. Then we go to the ab crunch, so we can have the cutout that you can crunch back and forth in. And then he should also crunch a little and twist around at the waist. Then we get the hips that can come up to 90 and out to the side. We get those drop down hips, so we got to push them back up. Thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, almost kicking his butt. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot flex back and forth and can twist side to side. So just like all the other Cobra officers and infantry, so nothing real exciting going on. Now accessory wise, he does come with an additional head, so we have the head showing the black face, and then we also have the one with the white face, so you can pick and choose either one that you want there. We do get a set of goggles as well, so we have a set of goggles that can go onto the head that we can place on him, so you can get the goggles there on his head. And then he also comes with the helmet as well, so I guess the more officer helmet design there that can go onto the head, so we have that. Then for weapons, first we get a knife, so we have this knife with the red handle, of course the like thin blade design there that can go into the sheath here on his left thigh, so just slide it down in there. And then we also get a pistol, so a weird pistol design, almost looks like a Ruger or something, but I know we have seen this before. And this can go into the holster here on his right thigh and be stored down in there just like that. We do get a back holster we can attach into, so we can take this and plug this into his back so it can stick right in there to be able to store a gun. And for that gun, we do get this, what I'm just going to call like an SMG, so a small gun here that has the extended magazine coming out off the side and looks pretty cool. Of course, for that, we will need to take the magazine off, and then we can take this gun and stick it down into the back, so it'll fit down inside the back just like that. And then we have the extra magazine that we can take and stick into the holder here on the back of his belt, so it just stores in the back there. Of course, hard to get around all the shape and everything, but at least it's stored there now. And then finally, he comes with this rifle as well, which I think you can also store into the backpack. You just have to take what I guess is either a flashlight or a laser off the side. I think it comes off, and there was that additional pocket there on the back of the belt, so you can store it in there, so you can take that off and then also take the magazine off as well and store it. So I think this gun would also be able to fit into the back piece there, so I guess you could pick and choose either one, but we'll go and just put this one into his hand. So there's the Cobra officer with that gun in his hand. Again, another left-handed person with the hinge in the left, so that looks pretty cool. Of course, we've had other officers, so we have our normal version, so just our another officer, again gonna look the same as all the others, but that's just our normal Cobra officer. And then of course this officer can be leading over the Python Patrol infantry, so we have the infantry and officer there now. So again, the infantry looks so much more crazy with the outfit design as compared to the officer, which just has barely any. So the officer definitely didn't commit too much to the Python Patrol design. He tried to skimp out on as many of the crazy designs as he could, but overall I think it's pretty cool. I like this officer, but again, I'm so tired of getting officers and infantry just because they're the exact same figure, just repeated over and over and over again, just changed up the design. And that goes the same for this Python Patrol with just the minor changes and variation, but I do like this design. I think it looks pretty cool here the way it is. And next up, we have the Python Patrol Copperhead, which I remember really liking Copperhead, just the figure design and stuff. I really liked it a lot. So having it here in Python Patrol is pretty fun, and he looks silly at the same time. So he, as opposed to the officer, went full out with the Python Patrol. He's pretty much got all this. I assume it's like a wetsuit design or just some sort of design covering him up pretty much from neck to toe. And it has a lot of this collar, especially this green collar with the yellow cross design on it. So that's all over his body, especially the upper section. And then his green and yellow on his legs, which, you know, just obviously a repaint of the other one. So he doesn't have any of the cross design on that, but it still just matches with the yellow and green design going all the way down to his boots is crazy. He has like this tank top or whatever design on there, all in black, the nice shiny black, but it has the Python Patrol logo there on his chest. And then his helmet's now this yellow color with the red coming around for his breather. It almost looks like he's got like a duck mouth or like some sort of animal mouth, like a weird thing there. It just looks pretty funny. And I like how he's got the red like up on his straps there around his chest and on his holster there. So I just how he seemed to go more all out in the Python Patrol with their colors. So I definitely like this design. Obviously I prefer the other one much more, but I just think this one looks so silly it makes me like it. But movement wise, we get the head that'll twist all the way around, and the head can look down that far and up that far. So not a whole lot of range, at least compared to the others, but not bad. Shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint and rotate all the way around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow. That does have the pinless joints on it, so it's kind of stiff, but can bend up at least that far. The wrist will twist around and has the hinge up and down in the right hand. Now, unfortunately with this though, we do have these like straps around the arm, so they fall down, so that's annoying. Then we go to the ab crunch there, so we have the cutout, so we can crunch back and forth, and then also crunch and twist a little, very little at the waist. Then we go to the hips, that can come up to 90 and out to the side. Of course, drop down has the thigh twist that'll twist around. The double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back, not too bad there, again with the pinless joints there in the knees. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and then the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So yeah, still pretty good figure, has some stiffness of course with those pinless joints, but they also work out pretty decently, and overall he works out pretty good, no issues standing him or anything. Now accessory wise, he comes with some cool stuff. So first we get a machete blade or whatever, and this looks really cool, and it has some color in here. I don't know if that's supposed to be blood or it's like an orangish color, so it could just be rust or something, but I think it looks pretty cool. So we can store this into his belt here that we got to get it in, which there I got it in. It feels like our holster is a little bit messed up. It didn't allow the blade in too well, so have a little bit of issue. Just got to mess around with it to get it in there. Then he comes with a pistol, so we have this all black pistol, which again looks pretty cool with this basic, you know, realistic pistol design. Now this can go into the holster here on his right leg. Just got to undo the little strap there, and we can stick this down in. So it's down in there, and then you can buckle it back in if you want. And then he comes with a back holster as well that has some bullets stored on there. So we have this we can peg into his back, and with that we can give him his main gun of the revolver that has this extended barrel and a scope on it, so it looks pretty crazy. I love how it's got this gold barrel, which looks really cool. Obviously with that we can store it into his back here as well, so just like that. But let's go and put it into his hands. So there Copperhead has that gun, which I think looks awesome. So again, really like having Copperhead. He's just a character that to me just stands out. The figure like seems to be different from all the others, so really like having him. And of course we have the older version here, so the comparison, the more proper one compared to the Python Patrol. But I think the Python Patrol has a fun uniqueness to it with the colors and like stands out and silly and stuff, so I like it as well. But of course the original one's always the much better version. And finally, we have the Tele-Viper with the Trubble bubble in the Python Patrol colors. So we'll start with the Tele-Viper, which are Cobra's communication and electronics specialist. And overall looks pretty fun and cool, you know, looks relatively exactly the same, just modified colors once again for the Python Patrol with a lot of the yellow. So he's got the yellow shirt on, the yellow on the helmet, big red visor, red on the belt and on his forearm, little like computer system there. And then I like the gray vest and then the gray pants again with the cross design going all the way down it there. So he looks pretty cool. This looks like Python Patrol to me. Like when I think of that, this is like the colors and designs I think of. So they did a good job with this design overall. But for movements, we get the head that'll twist all the way around, look down that far and up that far, so pretty decent movements there in the neck. Shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint back and forth and rotate all the way around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint. That's pinless once again, so the lower joint was a little bit stiff, but can go up there over 90 it looks like, with the wrist that'll twist around and hinge back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch, of course covered by the vest, so just a little bit of crunching back and forth there it seems like, mostly crunching at the waist where it can twist around as well. Then we go to the hips that come up to 90 and out to the side. Of course those drop down hips, thigh twist all the way around, the double knee joint. That's again pretty stiff, but can bend up that far to the back. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and then the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So pretty decent movements. The pinless joints on him are a little bit stiff, so stiffness with that, but not too bad. Now for accessories, we do get some additional heads. So we have 3 head options that we can pick from. So we have the black, white, and then fully covered versions that we can choose from for our characters. So whichever one you like there the most. Then more for weapons, we get a backpack for his communications array. So I always like this design, especially down here where it's got the segmentation. It always reminds me of like the butt of a bee with the stinger. So that's pretty fun with an antenna and all sorts of computer type stuff there. So we can plug this into his back. So it'll stick on the back just like that. We also get this tubing that'll fit into it. So I love how they did the tubing with the red. So this plugs into the bottom here, and then that'll plug into the bottom of the communication array gun. So it almost looks like a big like sort of like satellite dish gun that I assume blocks communications if they like shoot a thing out or whatever, and that plugs into the bottom of the gun there, as I said, and then we can put this into his hand. Now he had back and forth hinges on both hands, so it didn't really matter which hand you put it in, so we just put it in the right there. So there he's got that, which is pretty cool, so we can use that gun now. And then it does also have ability to store on the backpack, so as the pig there, I assume you can just take it out of his hand. Probably need to unplug it because I don't know how I'd be able to stay with it, and then you can plug it in on the side through the trigger guard there, so it can hang on the backpack like that. Like I said, then you just have this tubing I don't know what to do with now. So pretty cool overall for our Tele-Viper. So with that, we can then take him and put him into the Trubble bubble. So the Trubble bubble, once again, is a single person aerial assault craft, so just a little flying craft, and looks just like the other one, just obviously in the Python Patrol colors with the red and yellow, and then some of the gray with the cross design on there. So like it's got the Python Patrol logo there on the engines, and then of course the crosshatch going around there, the yellow missiles, the yellow like steering column up here with a little bit of eye designs there, and yellow straps, red all on the inside, and for like the main section and everything going around there with the black C, black gun on the bottom. So I just love the color variations they did on this, so it looks, you know, relatively identical. So let's go and just put the Tele-Viper in here. So there I got the Tele-Viper in the Trubble bubble, so kind of hard to get him in there, just trying to get it all worked around. So there we have the cover that does come down, so the canopy piece, and it seems like unlike the first Trubble bubbles, don't have any issues getting the canopy to sort of attach down in there. Still does look like the printing's a little bit off to the side, like over this way a little bit more than what it should, but we have the control up top where, you know, can like sort of twist it around and get the hands on and stuff to be able to control the flight. And there is a panel on there that sort of shows like a little screen just to help with like altitude probably and stuff. The gun off the front that does have the hinges can sort of move around there on the ball joint, so you can sort of aim that around there. The 2 missiles off the side that obviously you can just take off and launch there. Engines on the back that does have a little bit of movability for the fans down here at the bottom, so that's pretty cool. And I don't really think there's anything else that really functions. Yeah, it just seems to be about it for the Trubble bubble. And then of course it does also come with the aerial mine, so we had this with the last one, just different color. This one's all black with the red caution on it with this that you can't open up, so just see sort of the inside of it there. But again, with this, don't really know exactly where to like stick it. Like it doesn't really go or stick anywhere. You just have to find a place to put it, kind of hang it off. I think people were hanging it off the bottom of the gun, like taking one of the pigs here and sticking it and getting it to stick off that. I think that's what we did with the last one, but you can just do whatever with that aerial mine. But overall it looks pretty cool there. And of course we can bring in the original Trubble bubble and you can see the difference. So I think I like obviously this original one with the mostly all whitish gray color and then the clear canopy as opposed to this dark one, so you can barely see the Tele-Viper inside there. But the colors stand out on this one much more obviously with the Python Patrol colors. But yeah, just the two of them side by side, I'd always take the original, but the Python Patrol is fun with the color designs, you know, makes it just stand out a little bit more on the shelf. Well, that's weird for these G.I. Joe Classified Series Target exclusive Tiger Force and Python Patrol figures, where we had the Tiger Force Flint and then the Python Patrol Cobra Officer, Copperhead, and Tele-Viper with Trubble bubble. So all of our pretty decent, you know, it's the Tiger Force and Python Patrol, so not that exciting, just recoloring of figures we've already had, but I think they all look pretty decent here. So of course, like Flint's decent. I just wish his shirt was more of like normal orange compared to the burnt orange. I feel it'd stand out a lot more. And then the Python Patrol seems to vary so much from like these colors. You know, these two seem to go well as compared to the Tele-Viper seems to be the more Python Patrol I think they should be. So with like the weird greenish yellow colors compared to like all the straight, you know, flat colors of the other one, I feel they're just sort of mixing up all the colors and stuff instead of just going straight colors that would match them all together. But I do really like Copperhead once again. I like the last one and this one. He just looks silly with those colors, and like I said, with the looks like the weird mouth or whatever on there, it just looks silly for him. So fun to get these again. Like I said, obviously you can easily skip out on these, but fun to just add them in with the rest of our Python Patrol and Tiger Force figures. So let me know what you thought of these 4 down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.